get the tower mid, and then after that I'll just farm mid until my cooldown's off. Then I'll walk top or bot and get the tower there, and just get all three outer towers with my first three ults. But if my team's not winning the lanes, I can't really get the towers, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, I get you there. In this patch, TA is always a safe pick. You win your lane like every time. Can get on top of Drow. I don't know how much you've been playing TA, but
I played her a bit.
She's susceptible to getting dumpstered after TI in like 7.2.
Yeah, I feel like she's strong if you get ahead on her, but I feel like late game she falls off too.
Yeah, she does. And if you were against the, like, you win the lane against the Wind Ranger, but she, I don't know. You know what? I think what you actually could have picked was, alright, I had it and I lost it. One moment. Oh yeah, Pugna. Pugna's a pretty good pick here.
Yeah, because the only thing I have to worry about really is the silence from Drow. Because
yeah, and you can
what I saw is I saw that bot lane was just gonna get dumpstered by the Timber because Rubik's just the trashiest position 5 and Drow's weak as fuck level 1.
Drow's so
yeah,
bad.
So I was like, I just need to pick someone that can kind of deal with like Wind Ranger, Spirit Breaker. So I was like, well, I can't really get ganked as a Necro that easily. Because every time he charged me, I just pressed my W and stood on the tower. Like, I dragged him in a tower, so he took more damage.
Yeah, Pugna actually would have been pretty ownage this game.
Yeah, he would have done the same as well. Yeah. If they last pick Clinks, would Pugna win the lane if I played it properly?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because you can, off of the Decrepify, you can secure like 2 CS and a deny, or 2 denies and a CS off of it. Especially with your nuke in combination.
Okay.
Pugna's a really good laner actually, since you know, you remove the enemy's ability to use their right clicks to go for harass or CS, and they kind of want to back off because if they get nuked as well, then they're taking massive amounts of damage. Plus you've got some magic damage to amp. And you've already got a bit of control. Not the most in the world, but enough.
Yeah.
The only thing would be like later on, like being a little bit careful about your decrep if Chaos Knight was going on somebody. But like you 100 to 0 Wind Ranger, you 100 to 0 Rubik, Drow, Clinks if he's not careful.
Okay, yeah, I think that would have been a good pick then. I need to practice Pugna more.
Yeah, it's really strong right now. It's been like in the back of everybody's mind, but I think we'll really see Pugna at TI.
Yeah, we saw some in the BTS. We saw some Pugna Earthshaker off lanes, right? That was pretty good.
Yeah, plus you don't really care about picking him up like in the first couple phases. He's in Captain's mode because he can go any lane. He just doesn't really care if he's side lane or mid lane.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did that at the start of the game too. I was done with the voice chats already.
Just make sure I'm not... I guess I could have just muted the whole game. I probably should have just done that instead of clicking like 20 times. Whatever.
Oh
well. So you saw the video before you played this game, right?
Yeah, that's why I thought I can invade and then go block after I invade, which secured us both runes, because the Drow was too scared to fight me. Also, Rubik warded mid, and I had no idea where he warded, so I bought myself a sentry knowing that though.
I guess he just didn't see this part.
He gave it to Clinks.
Oh, okay. How generous.
Uh, yeah, because there's no way Drow combats that. So he gets 2 runes there. In top room we got 1, so it's pretty decent. But I messed up my block because I recently changed to edge pan. So I've been used to blocking whilst holding the hero in the center, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
So I need to practice that in the demo lobby.
Do you have a? You've got a
Yeah, I
select
have a
hero
button to.
button, right?
Yeah, I have a button for that I just press that and it stays on my hero. It's just I need to get used to blocking that way instead of following, if that makes sense.
Right. I mean, you can either do it like that, or you can just double click this, and it'll stay on your hero, and you can sort of do it like you don't want to. You want to like focus on how your hero is moving rather than focusing on moving the camera.
Yeah. Okay. I need to practice that in demo mode anyway for like 10 minutes straight or something. Just blocking.
Sure, that would help. Alright, so already you should definitely be playing more aggressive. Like, even though...
Pardon, you lagged?
What's that?
You lagged a bit, so what did you say? I should be doing what?
Oh, you should be playing more aggressive here. Like, you should be looking to right click down, or you should be trading hits with this Clinks and like healing yourself and doing damage to him with your heal already. Like, you've got 5 heals, like not even counting any regen that you'll have, so you just want to be like not worrying about wasting mana, because it's not a waste to be spamming this off cooldown. You'll also be messing with his last hitting, because you'll be healing your creeps for 60, and that's like how much he's right clicking for. So if you've got like a low creep on your side and you've got a low creep on their side, you can be right clicking him, healing your creep to mess up with his last hitting and getting a last hit at the same time, and then maybe you can even with that creep now healed, going back in for the denying.
Yeah, that makes sense then, because that way you're... Because you know sometimes you have to choose between the last hit and deny. If I heal 1, I don't need to do that.
Right. Like it's like in the video. You don't want to be using your right clicks to last hit the creeps. You want to be using your nuke and like right clicking them. And Clinks is he's not the best mid laner in the world, because if you realize this, then you realize that he doesn't have a nuke to be able to right click you and get CS at the same time. You'll have to choose between one or the other.
Yeah. Should I be playing more towards him right now and just trading right clicks? Because I felt I'd lose that because it's a Clinks and he does way more damage than me.
Yeah, you pretty much just have to be trading your mana for his regen, and you definitely should have sent yourself a salve and some mangoes to keep up this death pulse spam.
Yeah, when I bought, you see, I bought the magic stick here. This is what I was talking about. I knew it's like after it came on the career, I was like, that was a mistake, and that should have been like a healing salve and a couple of mangoes instead. Because I was like, I didn't need that. I'm against a Clinks. He doesn't really harass me that much.
Even
he doesn't really
even the sentry, like it would getting rid of this ward would be beneficial to you. You'll get that XP, you'll get the gold back. You don't have to do it right away. You can send yourself the initial salve and then send yourself out like a sentry plus a mango or something while you're farming on the trip back, the courier's trip back from you. Because you're like right here, you definitely would have wanted to be able to use that salve to get back up to full HP.
Yeah.
And given that this Clinks didn't have the foresight to send himself a salve, you would have been at a massive advantage in this lane. And you're already out leveling him, but you definitely can't neglect that salve because you'd be widening the gap right now. And like
Yeah.
Jenkins, that's the guy who made the video. Like he mentioned,
Yeah.
like with this creep wave, if you had that salve and you were already sending yourself like that sentry plus some mangoes or whatever, you can already like start zoning this guy like right now if you had that salve. And he wouldn't like necessarily be able to come up to you because you know you've got 7-second cooldown, you're healing yourself, you know, for not that much, but you know the damage is like the heal and the damage are different. Like the 140 damage on a 7-second cooldown that's no joke. He can't like his attack animation, like maybe his range is pretty superior to yours, but if you just keep running at him while your creeps are tanking and you're using like the glyph so that the creeps last longer under tower, then you know you're going to trade better because the heal and the nuke. Like you don't just look at the heal and don't just look at the damage. It's essentially like the heal, it's you know, it's like having a nuke that's bigger because you're increasing the gap in between yourself and him more. So, you know, this it's like the equivalent of having 100, like at level 1 having 160 damage nuke instead of 100 damage nuke. Or at level 2 or at level 3, I mean, once you have the level 2, it's like having like a 220 damage nuke.
Yeah, because
Go ahead.
in the SF game, which I did in the 1v1 mid thing, I brought a lot of regen, and I was like, always high HP, always high mana. But the thing is that I never progressed in items. I mean, I was zoning them and winning like XP wise, and I won the games. But that's because it's 1v1 mid. But if that was an actual game, I'd just be underfarmed because I brought like 4 or 5 selves, 10 mangoes in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, but
because I was low
that's
on
okay
mana.
though, because it's not about how much farm you have. What it's been turning into much more in like high levels and in like pro games. Like you'll see. I think he mentioned it in this same video. You'll see timings in pro games being slower than timings in 6K games because the pro players are focusing on increasing their advantage over the enemy, while the 6K players are focusing on getting just getting gold for themselves, like leaving windows for the enemy to catch up, because they're not pressuring as much. So it's not about how much farm you have, it's about how much more farm you have over the enemy. It's like relative rather than like absolute.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do glyph here. I think it's this wave that I glyphed, and just I think I should have right-clicked him. If I didn't, it was a mistake. But I glyphed. Oh, I went back. Yeah, I should have right-clicked him here for sure. Because he was too busy trying to last it. Yeah, that was like free harass.
Yeah,
I missed.
and it would have been a lot better for you to like glyph in combination with being able to walk up and use your nuke on him
Heal.
and healing
Yeah,
creeps
and heal the creeps.
and yourself.
Yeah.
But since you didn't have that salve early on, it really cost you. Like you could have been like level 4 right now, and with him still being level 2, if you're getting like the amount of CS and class that I did.
Yeah, I died here stupidly because I underestimated his damage and thought I'd kill him. But yeah, I feel like if I had a wand and maybe like actual items, I wouldn't die there because he would have been too low. But yeah. My Timbersaw carried this early game for me because I would have lost if he got like 7 kills in that bot lane somehow. So it's pretty good. Do you think? I know. I was watching a BSJ thing and you're saying you cannot carry from the safe lane that reliably anymore. So is it mid or off lane? Which, like, I guess mid's still pretty good to carry from because it is more of a 1v1 now, right?
Yeah, if you can consistently win your lane and like hard, and make sure that you're having a good game and the enemy mid is like in permanent catch-up mode, then that'll win you many games from the mid lane. And if you're employing the tactics from that Jenkins video about Sumail, then you'll win a lot of these lanes just off the back of like knowing these things. That it's pretty unlikely that these guys are gonna know these concepts, let alone like try to implement them.
Yeah, that makes sense. So most mid laners that I play should be ones with nukes then, if not all of them.
Yeah, my opinion, and I think it's also the general opinion of like high-level players at large, is if you don't have, just in general, like if you don't have a nuke, then you're not a good laner, because you can't do more than one thing at a time. But if you have a nuke, then you can spend mana to get CS, and you can right-click to get a deny, or you can continually harass, and you don't have to worry about.
Is that why Lena's so good now?
Yes.
Because, yeah.
Basically, you know, to put it short, yes, that's why Lena is so good right now.
See, because I struggle with her, because it's not the lane that I struggle in as her, but it's after the lane. I feel like I'm too squishy. Like when I make rotations, I might kill somebody but then die anyway, which I think is just down to positioning.
Yeah,
but
it's probably down to positioning. You're probably also like going an outdated build. Like, are you going?
What is the build on her? Because
well, what are you going right now?
I'll check.
On Lena.
I'll check. Give me a second. I'll just go on buff and check my last game. I know I think I went Phase Yule, if I'm not mistaken. I'll check.
Alright, so the build on Lena right now is
she's
actually...
a hero that I have no idea.
It's Treads Shadowblade on Lena right now.
Damn, that's changed. Yeah, I normally go Phase Yules and Shadowblade BKB. But it's really weird because on her I never... Like, she has so many different builds, which is weird.
Yeah, it's pretty flexible, but the standard is going to be like getting some null talismans, getting like a magic wand, and then going into the treads and the Shadowblade, because the Shadowblade, it's just a really nice item to be able to go for right now, because it's one of the ones that's unnerfed. Gives you some attack speed and damage, and the positioning is really nice. If how familiar are you with the dead lane concept that BSJ's been preaching?
Oh, so you coach someone called Felix, right? Well, he's my friend. He's whenever I play with him, he's always switching, because I normally play mid or support with him, and he basically rammed the dead lane concept into it, where after the lane stage is done, you just don't go to the safe lane as a carry. You need to rotate to the off lane because it's way harder to gank there.
Right, and that's a good jumping off point, and it'll be true most of the time. But you know, the nuanced view is, you know, what's the enemy's easiest objective? Just be as far away from that as possible.
Okay.
So most of the time that will be, like if you're dire, will be this tower, just because it's so far away from other towers. So if you're TPing in, you're going to have to TP to this, because this is so far away, that's so far away, and just difficult to defend because of that. There's no... It's really, really easy to wrap on this tower as well, and if you go in here and you don't have any mobility, then it's like luck of the draw. Are you TPing out, or are you eventually just going to get hunted down and killed? You know?
When also another question. For mid lane, one of the things which I struggle with is if I either make too many rotations and end up the enemy just being too scared to go to the lane where I'm at, and I just kind of lose XP, or I don't make rotations at all. And I just want to know, when should you make rotations as a mid laner?
You should be looking to rotate if you're not dumpstering the other laner, basically. If you're not like the strong hero in the lane, like right now, you probably should have won this lane a lot harder, and as a result,
Yeah.
you and Clinks are the same level, and Clinks is going to be able to out harass you now that he does have these levels, um, and so I mean it's kind of hard to rotate as a Necro. Like, you want to have level 6 basically.
Yeah. But like in general, is it just like if I have kill potential in a lane, do I go to lane, or is it if I'm winning mid, do I just stay there? Like, because the way I see it, if this top lane went really hard for this CK, and I was a hero that had kill potential in the off laner in the CK's lane, even if I'm winning the mid lane hard, should I rotate there to free up the space or get the CK back in the game, or do I just say no, he's not worth it, and stay mid and farm?
In that specific situation, what you have to do is either try to force them to rotate to you, and then you're indirectly helping the CK, or just, if they're tower diving him, that's where you TP in and get some turn kills. And then if...
Yeah, because
Go ahead.
I just think that I did TP top this game, but as soon as I TP'd, I realized I shouldn't because I did it too late and I didn't really have any kill potential, so I just kind of wasted my TP cooldown.
Right.
Because they all just kind of went backwards because we didn't really have any catch after the CK died.
Yeah, so the way that you would want to help CK in this particular game would be to win mid harder, employing some of the concepts that you learned in that Sumail video, as well as what I'm teaching you right now, and then just trying to zone him as hard as possible, so, such to the point where he can't even like get XP out of the lane. That should be your goal, which you could have. I think you see how you could have done that.
Yeah, watching back the replay, I see how, even though I wasn't playing in my head, wasn't playing like actively being passive, I see how I was passive and I could have harassed him way more.
Yeah, it has to start at level 1, it has to start at the first creep wave, and you know, properly ferrying out those salves is a big part of it.
Yeah. What is the thing? I haven't seen a video on it, but I've heard it said, fortifying in the first creep wave.
Yeah, so the way that you want to do that is essentially, the way I understand it is, you want to do it in such a way that you're either making the enemy waste their nuke, like one of their nukes in lane, or you're like, you want to be the one who does it first, so you can just right click them the whole time while your creeps are fortified, and hopefully they don't respond with a fortification. They probably won't, like in your games, most of the time they won't.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to get more XP than them and get to that level 2 faster, and it'll matter a lot in some matchups. Like level 2 Necro doesn't really have a power spike per se, but you'll just be winning the trade because they won't have their power spike will get delayed. Like your power spike is, as a Necro in lane, it's going to be level 1, and then it's also going to be level 3 with your second point in Death Pulse.
Yeah, because I do the right skill build then, do you think? Because,
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, because I felt like I didn't want to put. I wanted to max my Q, obviously, and E's just E. But I felt like I needed to put my W before I get 6, because just so I didn't get bursted by a strafe.
Yeah, you're definitely going to want to have this Ghost Shroud early on against Clinks, especially when you kind of messed up the lane a little here. But
Yeah.
normally you don't want to level this Ghost Shroud until like level 8.
Okay.
Just because the
So
difference
you.
in level 1 to level 2 uh, in the health decay is pretty huge. It's 0.6. It's more than double.
Yeah, actually, that makes sense.
Like, it's actually starting to tick them down a bit, like counteracting their natural regen and even like reducing their HP maybe. If they don't have any additional regen items or they're not using like tangos at the time or whatever.
So do you think Necro is a good hero this patch? Because I've seen it picked as an offlaner, but not that much as a mid.
I think Necro is a good hero, but he's probably better in side lanes. He can work mid fine, especially if you know what you're doing, like as a player, and you're taking good trades and you understand your power spikes and all that. But he's much better in the side lanes because your Death Pulse is going to be damaging one extra person some of the time, and it's also going to be healing one extra person most of the time.
Ah, that makes a lot of sense then, yeah. I see why he's picked as an offlaner then, in some games, yeah.
Yeah, plus he's really hard to harass down and harass out a lane, and most of the time that is what you'll be dealing with. Like, so say you went Necro up here, you'd be having a lot less issues than the CK would be, just because like you get pretty much all the regen you need just out of this Death Pulse and hitting the creeps. And you can just buy the treads from the side shop or whatever in either lane.
Yeah.
It works fine mid, but just I'd say it's slightly better in these side lanes. Maybe significantly. It's not like the worst thing in the world. You're Necro mid instead of a Necro side lane. You still have a nuke to secure CS, so you're not like feeling too bad. But you know, as a side laner, you just don't really care about pushing out the lane as much.
So like, I know, it's like if you could say like 3 best heroes to play mid, one of them would be Zeus, right? Just because
Zeus is okay. He's not the best, but Zeus is pretty much fine almost all the time.
Because I felt like he's really strong because he can right click and nuke, as you said, and his last hit ability is very high with his damage.
Yeah, the only problem I would say with Zeus is you really want to either have a hero that dominates the lane super hard, like Templar Assassin, or you want to have a hero that, you know, has that nuke and has that mix of physical and magical, like the Lina or where Quap has been making a resurgence in that respect.
Oh yeah, Quap. I love playing Quap. I feel like I understand how to harass her better because I don't. But then for her nuke for lasting is quite weak, level 1, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's enough to get a last hit with it, and it's like an extra right click if you get on the enemy as well.
Is her build, skill build wise, is it still 3 points in dagger, or is it just?
I think
what would you say?
Right now I haven't been watching Quap too closely, but I've seen Quaps getting the nuke at level 1, and having like just maxing it out at level 7, just getting like I don't know. I think it's situational if you get dagger or if you get blink level 2. And you know, if you're fighting for the rune, a lot of times you're going to want to get the dagger as well.
Yeah, this was the bad rotation I made, by the way. I just walked top too late because the CK died, and they just walked away from me, so... I didn't die here. Somehow.
Alright, well I think this is okay, but I think CK, you definitely should have made sure that he realizes, alright, CK, I'm up here now, I used my TP, just go mid. You know, and make sure he realizes that.
Yeah. Oh, he was toxic, so I had to mute him already. Because he was spamming that I should pick Viper. But I really don't want to play Viper.
No, Viper's like... Just don't... If somebody ever tells you to pick Viper, just don't listen to them. In the past, Viper is a good laner, but he's not fun to play. Now he's just a fucking garbage laner.
Yeah, I always found him like, whatever, I'm winning the game as him. Like, he's boring to play. But now I feel like I don't even win the lane that hard.
Yeah, that cooldown on his Q really... plus, you don't have the additional damage versus creeps anymore. Really just turned him from a complete lane dominator into pretty much loses to any real laner.
Yeah. How do you feel about OD with the buff?
I don't think it's enough. I think he's not the worst, but you sort of have to have a good matchup in the sense that if they have a strong laner, then you'll lose the lane. Or at least you should.
Because I feel like he's only good as like I'm not like as in he's as cheesy as a broodmother, but you have to kind of pick him in the sense that if he doesn't have the right matchups, he's gonna just lose.
Yeah, if he has good matchups and he's still a good hero, like you're so reliant on getting that farm, and you just don't do that much until you have it.
Yeah, the most recent time that I picked him was the most recent time that he's worked for me was just after the nerf, and I swapped mid and went safe lane as him because I was against a Timbersaw, because otherwise my PA would have got destroyed by him. So I just kind of swapped that and that worked. But then after that, I was against like a mid matchup which you'd normally win as like an old OD, and it just failed. So like that, I don't know, it's not that good of a hero now.
Yeah, that changed too. Like I feel like it used to be, if you really want to win the lane as OD, you need to be able to use your Arcane Orb. I don't know how true that is, but he just feels so bad until you have quite a few levels on him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's probably okay. I don't know. I just feel like he needs like some major buffs before he's bad. And I just feel like some relief because, you know, he was such a presence for quite a long time, and you know, he just sort of got the bad righted treatment nerfed like several patches in a row.
Yeah. But yeah, the things this game, basically after I killed him at one time mid, didn't really show against me, which is what should have happened the entire game, I feel like. Because then he just kept ganking this Timbersaw, and I just pressured mid.
Yeah, it was just basically just the fact that you didn't send out that salve, and you didn't play aggressive on the first lane, abusing your level 1 power spike.
Yeah.
If you were doing that, I think this Clinks just would have gotten soloed out of the lane. He wouldn't have been very happy at all.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So do you have any more questions about this game or in general?
If you skip to like 20, about 20 minutes in, should have been, or go back a little bit. It's just
right here.
Yeah, about here. So they're ahead, and I said to our team, we just need to group as 5 and go bot, but the CK didn't come with us. But we still took a pretty decent fight because we got pickoffs. But if you look at my inventory, I wasn't able to. No, I think I die here and we go back for him after. No, I do die here. It's the fight after, sorry.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, I don't die here. Never mind, sorry. Yeah, but this was it. Basically, this is where we turned the game around because I just told my team to group up. But in my inventory, do you think I should take an item out for dust? Or do you think I should rely on my supports in this bracket to buy the dust for this clinks? Because otherwise he kept walking away. But I feel like even if I buy dust, I'm not the one that locks him down, so he can still walk away from me.
Yeah, I think since you don't have that lockdown for him, it's okay for you to not have a dust. Like, maybe what I would do if my teammates were refusing to buy a dust is, you know, buy the dust myself and then forcibly put it on them.
Yeah.
Just
Oh yeah,
make,
just
make them have a dust.
yeah. This clinks killed himself here by the way because he didn't realize dust expired, so he used strafe. Yeah, but I get that. So just give a support dust and buy it for them. I mean, yeah, that's actually good because I do that sometimes with ward. Like if I need vision and or if there's no vision on the map and I'm too busy like trying to take an objective or pressure lanes to place the ward where I need it to be, I'll just give it to the support and ask them to place it there.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah.
after you go out of your way and make sure they have a dust, then, you know, they'll probably get it. Alright, I need to have a dust so bad, and this guy's buying one for me. Okay, I'll carry one.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes that'll work, sometimes it won't, but whatever.
I said to the CK, hit high ground until Drow respawns with me. So we did that. But do you think that's the right call, or is there like a better objective to play here? Because he died and so did I because he stayed too long, and I probably should have just left him to be honest. Because I said get back now, and I tried to go back in to heal him, and then he just stayed there. So we were cool. Because I kept trying to keep him alive. Because my shackle shot, but yeah. Do you think we should hit that building, and if we get back safely, it's fine, or is there like something better to do?
That's it's okay to do this, but you really have to make sure that you're getting out like clean several seconds before Drow is respawning, like maybe even like 10. You probably could have just gone mid and you would have got that tower for sure, because there's no way that you're going to get this tower.
Yeah, I was just thinking good harass in the tower, but yeah, that was basically what happened in the game. And then we killed Clinks here, and then we got another pick off, and then we just went Roshan. So I just told the team just to go Rosh after we got a few more pick offs, and basically we just won the game from there. But yeah, that's about it for this replay.
Yeah, you probably should have just, like, you had your creeps mid in a good position. You probably could have just got this tower and then backed off to rush from there.
Dead. Because the Clinks was dead, or?
Yeah, basically. Like, they don't have the best team fight either, so...
Yeah. The only problem was that the CK, every time we tried to hit a building, he'd like ult for the building and not for the team fight, if that makes sense. So if we went mid, I had him muted too, and he wasn't listening to me because I'm pretty sure he muted me after I told him to stop flaming and play the game. But he was like ulting just for towers, so he'd never have his ult up. So if we did get this mid tower, he would then not have his ult to take Roshan with.
I see. I mean, yeah, I mean, you guys do Rosh kind of slow, but you do have, at least you've got the minus armor from Reality Rift, and you've got Timbersaw to tank it.
Yeah. Do you think my build and Necro at this point is fine then? Because this is about what I had.
Against them, I think I'd probably have like a 4-staff
instead of
the mech. I mean, mech's okay, but it just feels like there's always
yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like there's never really like a game for it. Just
yeah.
I just feel like at this point, mech is kind of like, you know, like another 2,000 gold recipe for Guardian Greaves.
Yeah, I get that. The only reason I took mech was to get Guardian Greaves, because I wouldn't have took mech if I didn't want those. But
Like
so 4 staff, and then what would you say? Like
Force
Aghanim's or
Staff,
something?
Hood, Ags. I don't think
I didn't want to get Hood because Timber was going pipe.
it's okay to have more than one.
Okay.
I mean, maybe you're not going to get the pipe right away, but you know there's no cooldown on the pipe as long as the first barrier gets completely used up. If you use it again, then you can have another barrier right away, and that'll be good
Oh,
for making sure your creeps don't die to like a Wind Ranger spamming power shot.
yeah.
So, I mean, it's probably not the most ideal thing in the world, but it's really nice. And yeah, I mean, having more than one pipe is just fine. Uh, Definitely would have gone the Force Staff here, since Clink's, once he activates everything, he just wants to stand there, and if you Force Staff, he's pretty slow. He won't be able to catch up.
Ah, yeah, yeah. One last thing is basically what's the build on Quap right now?
On Quap,
Because what I'll tell you what I took in my last game. So this game, whenever it loads, it was like a stomp. It was just kind of game one. I didn't die. I went Treadville, Maelstrom, Lincolns,
that can be fine.
or sorry, Treadville, yeah, Lincolns.
I think in my
No,
last
okay.
Quap game, I did go Treadville like Lincolns as well. It feels pretty powerful.
Yeah, and then I went Orchid after I got the Lincolns.
Uh, Orchid kind of feels a little bit weak if you're getting all those items beforehand. Like, you probably should have gone for like a sheep at that point, or like a BKB, or maybe, um, maybe even Shiva if you need armor.
Yeah, that makes sense. Actually, I probably could have took Shivas or Sheepstick.
I just feel like the Orchid is, if you compare it to Hex, it's just pretty trash right now. Just especially with, um, I don't know. I just feel like you don't want to go that Bloodthorn Nullifier anymore. It's just too greedy compared to just having a Hex, and there's too many ways to dispel it. Like, you've got Aeon Disc, you've got Yule, Manta, BKB. There's just so many counters, but there's no counter against Hex. It's like the only item in the game that has no counter against it.
Yeah, that makes sense then. I just don't really don't go Hex. Is hang on, let me open up the item type. Because for Hex is like 6k gold, right? Whereas Orchid's only 4,000
Yeah, I
ish.
mean, either way, you're getting a few items beforehand. So,
Yeah.
like, I don't think you rush Orchid on anybody anymore, really. So, if it's later into the game and you're not rushing that Orchid out, then Hex is going to be superior for sure. Because, like, Orchid's a really, like, timing-based item, whereas Hex is like, alright, I do quite a bit of damage. Might as well just get some more disabled, get some more, like, stats. I've even been
Okay.
going, like, I've been going Hex on, like, even like Bloodseekers and Phantom Lancers when I feel like I'm
Yeah, I've
ahead
been
and I just want like that extra lockdown.
yeah, I've been seeing on basically in any matches where a guy's ahead, he just takes it just to have that because like if you're like say if your ahead is like a even like a Slark, I saw it in Slarks too, where they're just ahead and they just want to be able to just lock down like a person after they pounce and stuff like that.
Right.
They just take a hex or like any hero really. It's kind of good on.
It's just an uncounterable item. It's not like right now your itemization. It doesn't necessarily have to be what's going to make my hero stronger and accelerate my hero. It can be, what do I need right now in order to win this lane harder? And if you're from a position where you're ahead, you're probably already doing enough damage so that Hex can really secure team fights later on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So, any more questions?
I think that's it. I need to go try all this stuff in the solo queue game. I'm gonna probably play Quat or Pugna and just try and abuse the lane on the first creep wave.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely try out using a glyph. Try to make them waste their what is it? Their nuke. You know, try to get denies off of it. Try to get level 2
Yeah.
before them. Really, you know, maybe give that video another watch. And, you know, make sure you understand creep aggro under tower more, because if you are shoving into their tower like that, you really need to be hitting them the whole time when they're CSing under tower.
Is it the tower will only aggro you if you're hitting a hero when it changes targets after a creep dies, right? Is that how it works?
Yeah. If you're hitting them, then when the creep dies, it'll start targeting you, but also if you're the closest thing.
Yeah. Okay. So basically just when a creep dies, don't hit the enemy, wait for it to re-aggro and then carry on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like, that could be your timing for using glyph, like, once it's under tower, because if your creeps are glyphed under tower, then, you know, it's not going to change targets for the next 6 seconds at least, for sure.
Yeah.
Alright, well, later then. You know,
Right.
let me know
Yeah,
how that
thank
works
you.
out.
Yeah, thanks, man.
No problem.
See ya.